Kelly, are you disappointed that we won't be open by Christmas as we'd formerly hoped?
I couldn't quite hear you, sorry.
Are you disappointed that we won't be open by Christmas as you'd formerly hoped? And also, do you think this most recent outbreak will have any material impact on the economic situation of the country?
Well, on the first point, I'm like any other Australian. Of course we wanted everything to be open by Christmas, but the virus has had a different idea about that. And that's just a practical reality. I should say, though, in 7 states and territories, we certainly will be having Christmas in this country like few countries in the world are. And so, you know, every Christmas is a time to be thankful. And while there are frustrations and disappointments and disruptions this Christmas, I think here in Australia we have a lot to be thankful for and a lot to be grateful for, and that those people who we are able to join with are the most important things we should be grateful for. And so that will go ahead, either directly or, as Paul says, virtually. And so I think we have to keep that in some sort of perspective. On the economic issue, well, I mean, it's still too early. I mean, what we're looking at here is an outbreak in one quite geographically defined part of Sydney, which at the moment is not suggesting broader seeding and having a broader impact. Now, as the Chief Medical Officer says, you can't guarantee it won't take a different course. But that said, if it were to continue on in that way, just like we saw with the Adelaide outbreak a few weeks ago, then these things would have a very minimal impact on those economic scenarios. In the short term, though, of course, it's highly disruptive. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. Jen?
Just on the comments about Christmas, we're still a few days away. Are you praying for a Christmas miracle? And also, is there a need to reconsider or even consider any travel restrictions from the UK given the mutated strain?
I'll let Paul deal with that. Why don't you deal with that item first, Paul, and then I'll share my prayer diary with the gallery.
So on the new strain in the UK, I think we need to put it in context. Firstly, there has been thousands of mutations of this particular novel coronavirus. When it was, you remember, that was what it was called at the beginning. It was a new coronavirus. It had a mutation to get to there, and there have been small mutations along the way, but thousands of them. The particular strain which is circulating, especially in the southeast of England at the moment, does have some particular mutations related to the spike protein. That's important because that is the way that the virus gets into the cells. It's also the particular part of the virus that the vaccines are attacking. All of the vaccines are related to the spike protein. Having said that, there's no definite evidence at the moment that this is a significant change. There has been more transmission in recent times in southeast of the UK, and that's may be associated with the virus. There is certainly more transmission going on, but that is also related to the few weeks before Christmas. So the way I look at this, as with every infectious disease, there are 3 things going on. There is an environment, a host, that's humans, and the infectious agent. So the infectious agent has changed a little. There are a lot of people moving around in southeast England that have been until this recent lockdown. It's also winter. So those all 3 are important elements to consider. In terms of what that means for people coming from the UK here, everyone coming from the UK is going into 14 days of hotel quarantine, and they are at no risk as that quarantine works so successfully as it has done for the most part here in Australia since the beginning. Yeah.
Well, miracles happen every day in Australia, and small and large, and I think Christmas is a time to give thanks for those that we know of.